Hey, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
We love having this guy on the show. In fact, I think we're all separated at birth here. He's just like us, Dan. It is John Fuller, Focus on the Family. John, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. I look just like you, except the Duck Dynasty beard. I don't have that. And I wish I were in the sunshine with the water behind me, but oh well. I want to be like you guys, that's for sure.
What do you
aim higher, John? Come on.
What do you think your wife would say, John, if you said, "Hey, I'm separated from birth with these guys"?
Well, she went to school in West Monroe, Louisiana Tech, where the Duck Dynasty boys live. She'd be right at home. She actually won a spitting contest, a tobacco spitting contest in college.
Really?
So I think she would be fine awesome. I think she would be fine if we associated more closely.
Would she let you grow a Duck Dynasty beard like that, do you think?
She would let me, but I cannot. My manhood has not attained such heights, and so a little bit of stubble is all I can do. Sorry.
Gotcha. Okay.
Dan, I say that we get John's wife on next time because I would love to hear more about, a little bit about her background. And
I want to see her spit.
That's quite a gift right there.
Yeah.
Hey, John, we do love hanging with you. I just wanted to catch up with you. Here we are, the holidays. What do you guys usually do? Do you have traditions or are you doing something new? I mean, this has been a different year.
It has been indeed. So Thanksgiving used to be just our family because with 6 kids, that's a pretty full house. But in the past several years, with girls working in the food service industry, coffee houses specifically, they used to invite friends over. And a few years ago, we had like 14 or 15, 20-somethings swinging by. They started around 10 in the morning and 7 or 8 at night. They were coming with potlucks, dishes and things. So we really miss that. The girls have mostly moved on. And this is not the year to have 14 or 15 strangers coming into your home. So it's going to be a much quieter Thanksgiving. Christmas time, I think we're going to have all the kids together for at least a little bit. And I'm looking forward to that. I feel downright patriarchal as I sit at the table and I watch them interact. And I don't get a word in edgewise, which is fine. Even fool is, thought wise when he keeps silent.
Yes. Yeah, I have 2 girls, so I know how that goes. It's hard to get a word in edgewise when they get going like that. I mean, they get gussed up to like 40,000 words in a sitting. So
it really was wonderful. Those Thanksgiving times with a bunch of people coming by. We loved that because my girls just had a heart for, their peers who didn't have family in town. So it was sort of like, come on over to our house. The Fullers will be happy to have you. And that's the spirit we would like to have. It just seems like this is not the year to have an open door policy like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Something you had just recently, John, on Focus on the Family is the Sea Life 2020 event that you can still watch on the website. How did that go? And talk about all that.
Well, so the genesis of that, for many who will remember, is that in May of last year, we went to Times Square in downtown New York City, and we had about 20,000 people join us for a big celebration of life. It was about an hour-long event, and what we did was we had speakers, we had music, and then we had a 4D ultrasound shown on big screens that we had to bring into New York City Times Square because nobody would sell us the time on their big screens there in Times Square. But we had a phenomenal time. So the goal was this year to have 5 cities, including the Atlanta area, as spots where we would do these events. And we had hoped that we would have up to 100,000 people join us. Well, with COVID, we had to change plans. We did a documentary, we did an online event, and well over 100,000 people saw it just the first weekend. Wow. So we had our numbers in a little different format, but it lives on in perpetuity, of course, online. And again, it's a celebration of life. I really loved what we did with that because it wasn't preaching. It was an inviting in to seeing life as the gift from God that it is, beginning at the moment of conception And there was a lot of heart there for women who have had abortions or are considering abortions. We have a lot of resources for folks, and so we believe that the moment in the culture is really ripe for being pro-life and for fostering the full breadth of what that means. Pro-life from conception to natural death. But Sea Life was certainly a big deal for us, and we hope to do it again, maybe even in person next May. We'll be doing something around Mother's Day of May 2021.
Awesome.
Sounds good. We'd love to talk to you more about that as May gets here. Yeah, hopefully things will be a little different. I know a lot of folks, and we see it on social media. We have conversations with folks. Of course, we're wearing our masks, but they always say, "I can't wait for 2021." But I think there's something that we can glean from 2020 that has really, changed us all together and individually. What do you think you've learned this year as a Christ follower, as a dad, as a leader?
I appreciate the question, Rick, and I think the lesson I was learning going into 2020 was that I'm not in control. We've got a child who kind of was spinning out of control, and there was nothing I could do to help him. And I had to kind of just watch and manage it the best we could. So that was where I was going into 2020. And the Lord has just, I think, pounded my heart even more. You are not in control, John, but I am. I've got a sovereign plan. I revealed it to you in Genesis, in Revelation. Its fruition comes, and then my kingdom forever and ever. But for now, I'm living in this space where God is doing His work. I trust in that, and I cling to that scripture in Isaiah. My ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. I'm bigger than any of this, and I'm working, even if you don't think I'm working, in some tremendous ways. So two things. One, let go and let God take care of what only He can take care of. And then two, keep my eyes open for whatever He might have for me, right? I mean, He's got divine opportunities for all of us in the midst of this uncertainty. It might be something as simple as just empathizing with a neighbor you haven't seen a whole lot. It might be something as simple as identifying with somebody who's fearful. It might be something bigger than that. It might be meeting a financial need. It might be taking a step across the street into some uncomfortable territory for you. But these are moments for the church to rise up and be light and to be hope and not show fear.
Yeah. John, you guys always have something exciting going on at Focus on the Family. What's coming up that you're excited about? We just talked about Sea Life 2020, but I'm sure there's something else coming up. What are you excited about?
Well, we don't have, just because there's so much difficulty trying to plan events, we do have some smaller gatherings for around the country that we're going to be trying to spin up. I'm really excited as we kind of get into podcasting and try to meet people digitally. We kind of stood up real fast a streaming service during the early days of COVID, and we continue to offer that. I think what I'm most excited about, Dan, is the outreach that we just continue to enjoy with, in the past 12 months, 300,000 decisions for Christ or rededications to Christ.
Wow.
I mean, that's over 250,000 people who have said, as a direct result of something Focus on the Family has done, I've rededicated my life or I've come to know Jesus. That's awesome, and we want to see that just continue. I'll just share candidly the Hope Restored events for the marriage intensives for couples who are struggling. My wife and I, because of that child I mentioned earlier, we were just drifting. We weren't in danger of separating or divorce, but we went and participated at a Hope Restored event. And that was phenomenal. It really, really made a big difference in how we communicate. And we want to see tens of thousands of people in the coming years be able to go and find hope. 80% of the couples that go stay together. They're happier 2 years after going through Hope Restored. We want to see that ministry really just explode in terms of keeping couples together, not just for their own relationship, but for the generational ripples. You know what? It's hard, but we push through. You can too, young person. You can too, son or daughter. So we want to see that really, really take off.
John Fuller, focus on the family. And have you had snow yet, John? I know you're living in Colorado. A Colorado Christmas, does that include snow?
We've only had a few Christmases with snow, but our first snow this year was September 25th. We had about 5, 6, 7 inches. And right now it's 65 and sunny. So I don't know, Rick, Dan, it could snow today for all I know. I live in Colorado. But it very well, I'm sure it'll be a very special Christmas, unique and odd and different for all of us. But what a great time to remember again why Jesus came, right? He came because this world is not our home. It's not in good shape. It's fallen apart. But be of good cheer. Be of good cheer.
So good. John, we appreciate you. And of course, we appreciate Focus on the Family. FocusOnTheFamily.com, a good place to go to. John mentioned podcasts. Check out the podcasts. Always great guests. John, we had Jonathan McKee on this morning. We were talking about the screen of the smartphone. He and his daughter wrote a book. Of course, you know that. I think you guys talked to him. But he's such a delight. You always have great guests.
We did talk to them.
Yeah, good people. But you are as well.
I wish I had known that. I wish I'd known Jonathan. I wish I'd known Jonathan was on before me. I would have upped my game because he's really, really good.
John Fuller, check him and Jim out on Focus on the Family. John, have a blessed holiday, and we look forward to seeing you in 2021.
Hey guys, thank you. And I do hope to get your way and see you in person so you don't have to worry about all these screens and things. But I will bring a mask. Don't worry.
Thanks.
Thanks again.
I appreciate it, man.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.